everyone. Lauren Culp, your publisher and CEO at CUInsight.com, and I am bringing you a 3 questions video interview today with a very special guest. I'm super excited to have Cheryl Lawson joining me. She's the EVP of Compliance Review at JMFA. We've got a great conversation planned on overdraft services and courtesy pay services, which have been in the news a lot lately. So some really good insights from this discussion. Cheryl, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always great to talk to credit unions. They're the best financial institutions in our marketplace. I believe that.
I agree 100%. Could not agree more. You know, some financial institutions, including credit unions, have eliminated overdrafts, and we heard a lot about that this year. Do you think that consumers still have a need for these types of services?
Absolutely. First off, our communities are made up of all different types of households. Some folks earn plenty of money. Other people don't quite earn as much as they need. And the statistics show, whether the CFPB or NCUA, that the majority of consumers actually kind of live more or less hand to mouth. So they very much need the ability to have their financial institution kind of support them in the event of a short-term need. And it's also important to realize that small overdrafts really represent no significant loss to the institution. But what they do build is they build a brand relationship and they build loyalty. And I know that how important the credit union movement is in this environment. It's the one institution that consumers can really depend upon to have good rates and great services and wonderful people. So we certainly don't want to turn them away at the time when they may have, again, a short-term need.
Well, what do you think that credit unions should consider as they evaluate their overdraft solution? That's such a great point on the brand and being there for our members when they need us. But what do you think credit unions should really consider overall for their overdraft solution?
Well, first off, you have to have a regulatorily compliant solution, something that addresses everything that the examiners are going to ask for and more. And you also have to have something that's responsive to the needs of the consumer. You know, we've gone through a lot of changes in this industry over the last 15 or 20 years, and there's now a much clearer direction from the NCUA and from the agencies on exactly what they want to see in strong programs. Transparency, consistency, making sure that consumers have the ability to turn it off, the accommodation of the kinds of things like authorized positive and settle negative that are really putting pressure on institutions to not just provide some occasional service, but really to consistently ensure consumers are benefited and not harmed in the process. You can't make it up on your own and hit all of the check boxes. And so what you really need to have is a relationship with a firm like JMFA that can cover every single thing. I've been doing this for a number of years, and in the last year, we've had more activity in the overdraft space pretty much than ever before. And that means somebody's got to be watching it all the time. And I think that has a huge impact on credit unions. If you know you're ahead of the game and you're providing a value add relationship-based service to your members, then you want it to be perfect in every possible area. So I think that that's really important. And I also need to say that because the industry is changing, it takes more than just the standard review. You have to have somebody looking at it pretty much 24 hours a day to stay on top of the changes that our industry is realizing.
That's such a good point about the value of having a relationship with a firm like JMFA that can really help make sure you're checking all those different boxes. You know, compliance is not something that I hear people loving to talk about over drinks, but it's so important for our financial institutions, for credit unions. So how would you say JMFA is really helping credit unions navigate those regulatory expectations today?
Well, first off, we provide a 100% compliance guarantee for our overdraft privilege program. No other industry partner does that. And we've done that for years because what we know is that everything that needs to be in your program, we recommend and we assure that you implement. That means that if an examiner walks in and says, oh, you're not doing something perfectly, JMFA's dollars are on the line. We pay any penalties or fines. The good news is in 25 years, we've never had to pay, because we've always delivered a 100% compliant solution. And when changes occur, like now with the authorized positive settle negative or the attention to representment fees and some of these other things, we're able to very nimbly respond and assist our clients so that they're ahead of the game and that they get everything done before the examiner walks in the door. We had an institution not very long ago that had an examiner walk in kind of loaded for bear, and they wanted to ask for a whole lot of reporting around representment that didn't exist. And by the time we had finished responding to support our client, the examiner walked away and said, everything's perfect, don't need anything, going on to the next financial institution. That's the kind of relationship that clients benefit from, having a partner who knows enough to be ahead of the game and to assist so that there really are no issues. Because we're in an environment where somebody's always making it look like overdrafts are, a dirty word. And ultimately, we forget that members need this kind of service from time to time to cover those temporary shortfalls. So we want to deliver it. We want to have it not be discriminatory. We want it to be 100% compliant. And we want to make sure that it addresses all the needs of the marketplace. So we're tailoring every single solution. It's not a kit. I can't mail it in a box. We spend a lot of time one-on-one with our clients to build the bridges that allow them to have the best relationship with their members. I think of us as bankers who work in the consulting world, and we come at it from the same place as the leadership and the staffs of our credit union clients. We want to make the marketplace better, and we want to support households.
Well, what a perfect way to kind of wrap up the conversation. There's nothing better than hearing that an examiner is like, no, I'm good. I don't need any other information. All set. And for anybody who is interested in getting in touch with Cheryl and her team at JMFA, we're going to link to her contact information and their site here so that you are able to easily connect with their team for some more chats about overdraft and what they can do for you. Cheryl, thank you so much for taking the time. It has been a pleasure. And I hope you stay safe and well. And maybe we can even meet up in person one of these days soon.
Sounds terrific. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you, Cheryl. All right, take care. And thanks to everybody for tuning in today on the CUInsight 3-question video interview series.